Greetings in the name of the Most High Jah Rastafari. This is the girl Jen, Sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. And if you want to get formal, it's Miss Jennifer Frederick, another edition on We Talk the Ting Unfiltered. We unbounce up central people. Go up and look at the whole thing, not just to subscribe and like, but go and look at all the channels, go and look at all the things that have often amongst up central. Be a part of it is we thing, doing we thing, giving we story. Nobody can stop that story. People, today is Tuesday. The week has started already. We enter July. The end of July will come just now, then August vacation, emancipations, like we have an independence, Republic Day, Diwali, the whole thing. Time and tide waits on no one, but I like to wait on my feet, so I'll do all the little, we have a little program we just start with. So let me start with the anthem. One time, and thank you all in advance for those who are locked on and tuning to listen to what I have to say. So let me start with the anthem now. And we must have the pledge.
I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I will honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, and my elders, and those in authority. I will be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. I will strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country.
And we must do this one for the first peoples of Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, and we must have some Black history, something make you think, something to make you wonder. This is not just for Bacchanal, eh? Well, that's so get on with it.
Imagine hiding in a space so small you couldn't stand, for 7 years, just to protect your children. That's Harriet Jacobs' story. Harriet Jacobs was born into slavery in Edenton, North Carolina in 1813. Her mother died when she was 6. Her mother's mistress taught her to read and sew, 2 gifts that would one day save her life. When that mistress died, Harriet was inherited by a physician named Dr. James Norcom, who subjected her to years of sexual harassment, threats and intimidation from the time she was in her early teens. To escape his advances, she entered a relationship with a white neighbor named Samuel Sawyer and had 2 children, a son named Joseph and a daughter named Louisa, calculating that Norcom would lose interest in her if she belonged to another man. The calculation failed. When Harriet was 27, Norcom threatened to send her children to a plantation to be worked to death. She ran. She hid for a few weeks with friends and then made a decision that should have been impossible. She crawled into a tiny space beneath the roof of her grandmother's house in Edenton. The space was 9 feet long, 7 feet wide, 3 feet high at its tallest point. She could not stand up. She could not fully sit upright. 4 months at a time she could not move her limbs at all without agonizing pain. There were rats and mice. In summer the temperature in the space became suffocating. She developed severe headaches and problems with her limbs that stayed with her for the rest of her life. In winter she could not feel her legs from the cold. She drilled a tiny hole in the wood with a gimlet so she could look out at the street below. Through that hole she watched her children grow. She watched Joseph and Louisa play. They did not know she was there. She stayed for 7 years. In 1842 she escaped to the north and eventually reached New York. In 1861 she published her autobiography, Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, the first autobiography written and published by an enslaved black woman in America. The book caused a sensation. It described in intimate and devastating detail the sexual violence, the psychological manipulation and the impossible choices that slavery imposed on black women in ways that no previous book had documented. She wrote about the crawl space. She wrote about why she had chosen 9 feet of darkness and 7 years of paralysis over what Norcom had planned for her. She wrote, "I would have chosen this over the reckless passions of my master. No way this is real, but it absolutely is." Subscribe and follow for more historical content, and share this with others who value learning from the past. The book is in our bio link.
We have endured and we are still here. That is why sometimes when you see some of us just giving up things so easy, African for sale, our ancestors went through that already and their sale wasn't something that they willingly went into. And they suffered the trauma and the humiliation, the mutilation, rape, beatings, all that they went through and survived for us to be here. And then some of us want to revert back to that or allow people to have us reverting back to that. Come check all yourself now. Everybody should be proud of the race and the heritage. Everybody. And we shouldn't be any different. Watch this one also.
Did you know some historians believe the Statue of Liberty might have been modeled after a black woman? Follow now. Let's separate myth from possibility. In the 1860s, as slavery was ending in America, French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi began designing a monument to liberty. Some scholars, including Dr. Joy de Gruy, note that his early sketches showed a woman breaking chains, a clear reference to freedom after emancipation. Those chains actually still exist. They're at her feet, mostly hidden beneath the robe. Originally, they were more visible, but later versions replaced them with the tablet and torch we recognize today. This sparked a theory. Were those early versions inspired by the image of a freed black woman? Bartholdi had traveled through Egypt and North Africa before starting the statue, so some argue his earliest concepts reflected African and abolitionist influences. But here's what historians agree on. The Statue of Liberty was born from the idea of freedom after slavery. It was a gift from France to celebrate both independence and the end of American bondage. Whether her face was modeled after a black woman is still debated, but her roots in emancipation are undeniable. So while her skin isn't bronze and her torch burns white, the story beneath the pedestal whispers something deeper. Freedom's light was always meant to include everyone. What do you think? Myth, possibility, or lost truth? Comment. History matters. If you believe every version deserves to be told, and follow for more stories that shine a new light on the past.
What do you all think? Doesn't it sound plausible? But again, we have to dig deeper. To all those who are locked on already, Cheryl, Christopher, Andrew, all the way from England. And Emmeline, thank you so much. I'm seeing Rookman across on Bounce Up Central, lies on YouTube. I see Mr. Gibson already there and he's shouting out everybody. Look at the long list of people, Mr. Gibson. Me ever with you? You guys must hear us spend real money in Christmas card. All them women and them, Attila, Sedena, Donna, Patricia, who again, Patty, Diane, Rookman, Joyceman, Niabo, E. Look now. You're damn right. Yeah. Shout out is I love. Look at this singer from history, Billie Holiday. A little of the horrors and the horror that she had to go through again, showing our resilience as a people.
Did you know that, in 1939, Holiday recorded Strange Fruit, a poignant protest song about racial injustice, originally a poem by Abel Meeropol. Despite bans, it sold over 1 million copies. Harry Anslinger, head of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, targeted Holiday due to her stance against racism and her personal struggles. He warned her not to sing Strange Fruit and used various tactics to undermine her. Holiday faced legal challenges and lost her cabaret license, but continued performing, including a sold-out Carnegie Hall show. In 1959, hospitalized with liver disease and other health issues, Holiday was arrested in her hospital bed. She passed away 10 days later.
Very, very tragic story about a very talented jazz singer and how the system would have tried to break her all how. It's something I must look into. These things are things we must know. And from our histories, we will know how to treat and deal with our issues that we are going through right now. This is another singer also.
At 14, she had a debut album. At 17, a hit that's still one of the most sampled songs in hip-hop. At 22, a Grammy. Then she did something no black woman in music had done before. Betty Wright, born Bessie Regina Norris in Miami on December 21, 1953, started singing with her family's gospel group at age 2. By 1968, she released My First Time Around at just 14. In 1971, at 17, Clean Up Woman hit number 2 on the R&B chart and stayed there for weeks. And that guitar riff became one of the most sampled sounds in music history, echoing through tracks like Mary J. Blige's Real Love and decades of hip-hop production. In 1976, she won the Grammy for Best R&B Song for Where Is the Love. But here's the historic move. In 1985, frustrated with how the industry paid women, Wright started her own label, Miss B Records. In 1988, her album Mother Wit went gold, making her the first black woman ever to score a gold record on a label she owned herself. In her later years, she mentored the next generation, including Jennifer Lopez and Joss Stone, once telling NPR, "I believe in legacy, and I believe in making the radio sound better." Betty Wright died of cancer on May 10, 2020, at 66. But that whistle register voice, and the label she built when no one else would pay her fairly, are still setting the blueprint. Comment which Betty Wright song hits different for you. Like this if her legacy inspires you. Share it with a woman building her own empire. And follow Black History Unfiltered.
I surely remember this one. I can't sing it. Tonight is the night that you make me a woman. Yeah, you said to me gently that I hope. Oh God, watch me now. Ooh, I'm nervous and I'm trembling, waiting for you to walk in. Hello, when you hold on to dance, you're finishing until, oh God, you're sweating all the whole Wait, right. That enough. So we continue. The great Betty Wright, boy. That song was, hey! Anyway, all remember the first time when someone had to go way back. Some a little shorter, you know. I had to go, let me see, way. Not wait. Just wait. Yeah. Anyway, anywho's, that song does bring out that kind of. Let me continue the thing. Listen to this masterful piece here by one called Gil Scott Heron.
I was wondering about our yesterdays and digging through the rubble. And to say the least, somebody went to a hell of a lot of trouble to make sure that when we looked things up, we wouldn't fare too well. And we would come up with totally unreliable pictures of ourselves. But I've compiled what few facts I could, such as they are, to see if we could find out a little bit of something. And this is what I got so far. First, white folks discovered Africa. They claimed it fair and square. Cecil Rhodes couldn't have been robbing nobody because, hell, there wasn't nobody there. And white folks brought all the civilization because there wasn't none around. How could the folks be civilized when wasn't nobody writing nothing down? And just to prove all of their suspicions, well, didn't take too long. They found out that there were whole tribes of people in plain sight running around with no clothes on. That's right. The men, the women, the young, and the old righteous folks covered their eyes. And no time was spent considering the environment. Hell no, this just wasn't civilized. And another piece of information they had, or at least this is what we were taught, is that unlike the civilized people of Europe, these tribal units actually fought. And yes, there was some crude implements, and yes, there was primitive art, and yes, they were masters of hunting and fishing, and courtesy came from the heart. And yes, there was love and medicine, religion, intertribal communication by drum, but no paper, no pencils, and no other utensils, and hell, these folks never even heard of a gun. And this is why the colonies came, to stabilize the land, because the dark continent had copper and gold, and the discoverers had themselves a plan. They would discover all the places with promise. You didn't need no titles and deeds. Then they would appoint people to make everything legal, to sanction the trickery and greed. And back in the jungle, when the natives got restless, they would call it guerrilla attack. And they would never describe that the folks finally got wise and decided that they would fight back. And still, we are victims of word games. Semantics is always a bitch. Places once referred to as underdeveloped are now called mineral rich. And the game goes on eternally. Unity kept just beyond reach. Egypt and Libya used to be in Africa. They've now been moved to the Middle East. There are examples galore, I assure you. But if interpreting were left up to me, I'd be sure every time folks knew this version wasn't mine, which is why it is called his story.
Hey, I hope all you like that lyrics there. Hey, I vex so up to that thing with believe writing. I'm better writing. So, good loving. Hey, let me continue this thing. Listen, this is a very serious show, a family show to it. Sit and get behind it. Hey. So let me continue. The continues. Not all up in the football thing, I must admit, but America lost, I think, after the president called some player get a black card. Give me a black card, Lord Father, a red card for some foul or something, and they said the president called the president. And the red card was removed, and then America playing, I think America gets 4 or some kind of thing. So yes. And it had another game now. I think England plays somebody else. Listen, I'm not all up in the football thing. All I know, Africa taking it. Whether France, Africa, or Africa taking it. France is spelled AFRICA. Again. So listen a little bit. This team, I understand, would have made such an impact on the World Cup on Cape Verde. Listen to
After
this.
Messi refused to hug Vozinha, Cape Verde earned the respect of the entire world. Their entire squad is worth just €54 million, while Argentina's is valued at €807 million. Even so, Cape Verde pushed Argentina into extra time and made the defending world champions fight for the full 120 minutes. But here's what most people don't know. Cape Verde is a tiny island nation of only 500,000 people. It doesn't even have a professional football league. Most of its players grew up in Portugal, France, and the Netherlands. Still, this team made up mostly of the children of immigrants reached the country's first ever World Cup. They went unbeaten in the group stage. drawing with Spain, Uruguay, and Saudi Arabia. Goalkeeper Vozinha, raised by his grandmother, has represented Cape Verde for 14 years. Against Argentina, he made crucial saves and pushed the world champions to their limit, showing the heart of this team. Cape Verde may have been eliminated, but they left with their heads held high. From an unknown nation to earning respect around the world, they've become one of this World Cup's greatest underdog stories.
So people here, everybody's Cape Verde, Cape Verde. Only like we had some more action going here. You all remember this young lady called Natasha Wilson? What you remember her? Let me just put her up here quickly.
For so many years. And I know some of you guys know me as a little girl with my dad coming to Grenada and singing. Well, the little girl is all grown. I ain't little no more. Little girl have a son that is 25 years old. So, you know, come out tomorrow and I'll just give you a little verse and chorus. I know you guys must be remember this song. Vince, you want to help me one? All right. This of a fear we have going so on. Things in me say we like when we start. Because of your clever behavior. The time has come for one we to pass. You should have never let the ways of evil dominate your soul and rule your mind. You must always remember when people treat you gentle, you don't treat them unkind. Boy, one day, I tell you, one day, nice, one day. Speed it up a little bit. Let it up. One day, I'll tell you one day you're going to fall. One day you're going to cry. My country will run dry. You took me for granted. Now we are parted. Like the old people say. Come on, you're gonna win. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Alright.
If you're gonna be at the trade center, let me hear you say yeah. You can't afford to miss this.
She's still on the voice, man. Slimy, oh God, you want a minute of notice, or let me get a minute of notice. I know about the global politics and all that slimy. If you hear me say that I'm rooting for Africa, we're going to mention Argentina still. I know what Argentina and they whiten out, removing the blacks from, they have done it successfully. Whiten off Argentina, where the black population is very minute. The more go to, you know, they want this superior race kind of foolishness kind of talk. I know Argentina racist. Oh God. Me just saying that I want AFRICA. Take anything. We look now, Slimy, come now, man. You like to play like you know everything, boy. Let me continues. Oh God, I still hearing Betty right. United. Okay, let me continue. So let me hear some panting here. Listen to this. I hope this thing going on there too. Listen to
this. Bless up. This is Kes just blessing up and endorsing Generations of Steel.
We are First Citizens Supernovas Youth Steel Orchestra, and we will be at Generations of Steel.
July 11th, Queen's Park Savannah. So get your tickets.
Yours truly, DJ Ramona, fully endorsed Generations of Steel.
Generations of Steel.
The Generations of Steel.
This Saturday, 11 July, the grandstand will rock from the sweet sounds of Generations of Steel, featuring Shell Invaders, Massey Trinidad All-Stars, First Citizens Supernovas, Desperados, and the Pride of the South, Fun Claire. Plus their talented youth bands. This Saturday, 11 July, at the iconic Grandstand, Queen's Park, Savannah.
Showtime, 6 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. All seats and stage are under cover from the weather.
Cooler Toddlers allowed. 2 buses on 1 ticket for only $350. The quadraphonic tickets admits 4 persons for only $600. The single pan tickets cost only $200. Additional $10 off for online purchases.
Children 12 and under, accompanied by an adult. Admission is free. Get yours now. Available at islandetickets.com.
At Crosby St. James.
All Kenny Sports.
All Extra Foods Supermarket.
Anthony's by the Park. Tarp Office. Belmont. Bobby's Bar. Curep. Jumbo Foods. Western Union. Tuna Puna. And the following MP gas stations: Mova Junction, Saddle Road, Fable Village, and Tinsley Junction. And all participating bands. Presented by Super Pan Man, Ting, and Friends.
Supported by CCN TV6.
The Express Newspaper.
995.5 FM.
And the NCC. For more info, call 732-3402.
Generations of Steel. Miss this, you matter what.
All them miss this, all them matter what. Go out there and support our panels. I'm coming to the Silver Star thing. I hope that this passed with no incident and that the pan and the panelists and the panmen and panwomen are respected. Everybody had a job to do, but let there be respect. Ting God's son has a son who is Down syndrome, and let me tell you something, could play the pan like that. Yeah? And could dress, love to dress. So big up to the whole family there. And let me continue. That Saturday, people go out and enjoy, go out and support. Look at this one. This is a little music coming from Silver Stars, because real thing happening in Silver Stars recently. We go talk about that just now. I notice the young people, how they enjoying the vibes. Yeah? When we continue, we go come to that. Watch this. This here is results coming from the top results despite poor facilities at Sandos Central. I think that gentleman there in the shirt, in the jacket, is the teacher, because I see some really nice comments people making and saying he's really a good teacher. So this was in the Guardian. Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett has pledged to make long-awaited repairs to San Fernando Central Secondary School a priority after the school's principal revealed it has maintained outstanding academic results despite years of inadequate facilities. Addressing the school graduation ceremony at the Southern Academy for the Performing Arts on July the 2nd, Principal Cindy Khan said the school achieved an average of 86% full certificates at both CSEC and CAPE examinations between 2020 and 2025, despite students and teachers contending with overcrowding, a shortage of specialist classroom, and teachers' vacancies. We celebrate our results at both CSEC or CSEC and CAPE. On average, 86% of students gained full certificates from CSEC from 2020 to 2025 Cancer, adding that the school performance was really excellent for any school in Trinidad and Tobago. She noted that the school recorded an 83% full certificate pass rate in 2025, while 8 students earned national bursaries based on their CAPE results. Amongst them was Jabari Brathwaite, depends how you pronounce it, who placed first in the Caribbean and Cape Environmental Science Unit 2, while Sydney Moses placed sixth in the region for Cape Physical Education and Sports Unit 1. Khan said the achievements came despite many challenges we encounter on a daily basis. She listed severe overcrowding, they don't say all that already. She also revealed that the school has been forced to discontinue food and nutrition at the CSEC level because of inadequate facilities, and thanked the principal of Astra Girls College San Fernando for allowing students to use its facilities during examinations. While acknowledging work completed by the Ministry of Education, including a new shower facility, repairs to termite damaged floors, roof repairs, and improvements to the school hall during the 2025 vacation, can appeal for further assistance. So we want to give shout out to San Fernando SEC and the principal, Ms. Khan, and all the teachers that contributed, but they won't put them thing all over to show that it's all we children doing good. They will just put up 1 or 2 or 3 of children of Indian descent and then start to all kind of nasty things now about children of African descent. That is so unfortunate. This school clearly shows that they're not about that. They're about the children of Trinidad and Tobago, despite whether being African, Indian, Chinese, or whatever. It's about the children. Yeah? So congratulations again. I'm also seeing this here, this beautiful picture. That is Dr. Rowley's wife, Miss Sharon Rowley, her sister, and his daughter. And what is all this about? Beverly Valdez, so that will be the lady in the angled with colors there, the shiny looking pink something top. Sharon Clark Rowley, well, we know that's the lady with the beautiful smiling middle in blue, and Tonya Rowley, who looks just like a daddy there, right? It's the ties that binds. I got this from Dr. Rowley's page, and it says, the tie that binds family heritage and creative courage come together through the work of Beverly Valdez, Sharon Clark Rowley, and Tonya Rowley. A story of sisters, mother and daughter, and the artistic thread that moves through generations. Born in Port of Spain, Trinidad, Beverly Valdez is an accomplished artist whose work is strongly influenced by her Caribbean heritage. With both a Bachelor's of Fine Arts and Master's of Fine Arts from Howard University, Beverly's journey has moved through design, creative direction, and now full-time painting. Her sister, Sharon Clark Rowley, has spent much of her life surrounded by art as a collector, admirer, and supporter of creativity within her family. After more than 40 years practicing law in Trinidad and Tobago, Sharon now steps into a new chapter embracing painting as a long-held desire finally given space to bloom. Sharon's daughter, Tonya, continues that creative thread. Also an attorney, Tonya finds in painting a space for reflection, balance, color, texture, and personal expression. Together, Beverly, Sharon, and Tonya bring a beautiful family dialogue to the ties that bind, one shaped by sisterhood, motherhood, legacy, ancestry, and the courage to create. This is family history carried in color. It's opening Wednesday, July the 15th at 6:30 p.m. at Caribbean Brushstrokes. So people, find out where it is, go look at the work, see these beautiful ladies. Black don't crack. Hey, let's celebrate. Celebration time, come on. So let me continue. Beautiful, beautiful then. I saw this and I thought it was funny as hell. This is when the Matson. Only watch it and see if only find it funny too. I think it was funny.
Yes, I've got 10 phone. Wait, Nazafar, you pick avocado to sell? No, Mr. Man, I buy my thing to sell. How much for one? I sell them 10 for one. And if I buy the whole 5, how much I'll get it for? Well, if you buy the whole 5, you'll get it for 40. Alright, I'll take the whole 5, bag it up. Alright. Yeah, so I 40 the fare, right? Yeah. Yes, no. And this 10 for one, right? Yeah, 10. So if I put back this one, I will have 30 fare. Well, yeah, I think so. If I put back this one, I will have 20 fare. If I put back this one, I will have 10 fare. And if I put back this one, I will have 0 fare. And that will be square. So we square now, right? What's now? What is going on there? Jada! Wait,
Shout the season.
Maths is important. Otherwise, you're gonna really get outsmart and thing and truth. Hey, Sarah, I love you too, darling. And all those who locked on, I love all it too, eh? Oh, I want to take a listen to this. It's very interesting because we are always told, as I continue to say, we are always told about African history and always tell me about we history and we in Africa and we running wrong with fly wrong with mouth and belly big and woman breasts, all kind of negative things, right? They don't ever speak about the beautiful buildings in Africa, the beautiful cities, the craft, the art, the people themselves, you know, music, dance, literature. You don't hear anything about those things, right? You always see negative, right? And I'm one always like to look and research things. And I like to look, because we are a country that is mainly Africans and Indians in the society, and I've been at the, what do you call it, I have been the brunt sometime of racism by people with Indian surnames. I don't know if it's really Indian people or not, but on Facebook. So I get called monkey, this, that, ugly, hungry, all kind of thing, whatever the case may be, and a whole distortion of my history. So I like to look at things, and I just want some people of Indian descent to sometime look into their history, where the indentured laborer, great-great-great-grandmother and grandfather come. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in it, but look into it and stop trying to shame people of African descent about their history. So I saw something called Panchagava, right? It was very interesting, so I'm going to play the video, and then I'm going to read just a little something.
Is India a Hindu-majority country? Common sense would tell you yes. But definitionally, we have a new definition of who is a Hindu. The Sri Gangotri Temple Committee, a government committee by the way, has come up with this new definition of a Hindu. A Hindu is someone who compulsorily consumes the Panchagavya. Now what is the Panchagavya, you would ask? It is a divine mixture of cow dung, cow piss and a bunch of other ingredients. So for someone to call themselves a Hindu, to identify as a Hindu, they should consume this cow dung, cow piss mixture compulsorily. Otherwise, they are a fake Hindu. This government-run temple committee is saying. If you go by that definition, I doubt if India is a Hindu majority country, because trust me, most majority Hindus in India do not consume cow dung. Do not. No one insults Hinduism more than these orthodox Hindus themselves. You know, this Western perception of India and Hindus being this, piss-drinking, shit-eating country, you are proving them right. You're proving them right by subscribing to such a definition. कि लेंस काट करने से धर्म नहीं बचेगा, इसके खिलाफ भी आवाज उठाना पड़ेगा, because trust me, if you go by this definition, India is not a Hindu majority country. Like, out of once a wise man said from Tamil Nadu, in India, if you eat beef, you're the lower caste, impure, dirty. If you drink milk, okay, acceptable, middle caste. But if you drink cow piss, you are the upper caste, purity symbol. We have to modernize as a country. I don't see how this is going to work for long. What? Are we going backward? Are we going backward? Trust me, next time the government does a census, tell the government agents to say, okay, if you're a Hindu, prove it by drinking a Panchagavya. And let us see how your Hindu Rashtra and Hindu majority dreams will come to be. Okay? Fine.
So I said, let me just go and look up this thing to see if this has any validity to it. So Pancha Gavi. The recent temple controversies. In Hinduism, individual practices and temple rules vary widely. While consuming Panchagavya at home or during specific religious rites is an individual choice, recent temple mandates have made it a controversial focal point. The Gangotri Temple Directive. During the Chadam Yatra pilgrimage, the Gangotri Mandir Samiti in Uttarakhand implemented a rule requesting all devotees to consume Panchagavya before entering the shrine. The temple committee instituted this controversial requirement specifically to weed out non-believers and ensure that only those committed to Sanatan Dharma traditions are granted access. This requirement aligns with broader directives by organizations like the Badrinath Kedarnath Temple Committee, which have sought to restrict entry to non-Hindus, required individuals to submit affidavits declaring their faith. Okay. You all do that as you all may. And it's an individual thing, as I said. It's an individual thing. I don't get it, but I am not one to bring down nobody and the religious practices or spiritual beliefs. I'm not into that. Everybody's free to worship the way they choose to worship. So I see some bacchanal coming out of Guyana. And I think this gentleman I'm going to put up here is the opposition in Guyana. He has a page called Team, I think, Mohammed. Listen to this.
In the history of Guyana, there was never and will never be a more corrupt president than the current president of Guyana, President Irfan Ali. This will be a very lengthy video showing the massive corruption, where a presidential salary of 3.7 million Guyana dollars per month could never substantiate this mind-boggling 150-acre ranch investment amounting to more than $2.2 billion, which was developed in just 3 years after becoming president of Guyana in 2020. I am standing on President Irfan's entry road, a 2.2-kilometer road in length and 17 feet in width that has a designated fleet of heavy machinery to maintain his private road leading to his ranch. Most farmers along this highway would use an existing trail road that is about 7 feet wide, but Irfan's road is drastically wider to accommodate big trucks from Brazil. In fact, there was and still is a trail road leading to his ranch, but it is not of his standard, as he wanted a straight, clean, beautiful landscape leading to his luxury estate. This man is so selfish, he decided to make his own massive road leading into his luxurious ranch. It is so smooth that even the Lamborghini could blaze this road. Based on engineer estimates, this road alone costs approximately $75 million. Mind you, this is a conservative figure, not the overpriced figure the PPP and their contractor friends quote to build roads, while communities throughout the country don't even have a proper loom road. This entire 150 acres was all forested land. Based on land developer estimates, clearing this massive ranch alone, leveling and hauling away everything costs no less than $300 million. Now let's talk about electricity to power this city. The electrical infrastructure alone is a significant investment with 70 lantern posts and 210 high voltage isolators. There are roughly 6,600 meters of electrical distribution lines running throughout the estate from the Linden-Soesdijk Highway to the facility. As seen on the estate, there are at least 2 transformers, including both pole-mounted and pad-mounted. These very transformers can comfortably provide electricity for approximately 500 average homes. Altogether, the cost for the entire electrical infrastructure, including installation and labor, of this estate totals approximately $55 million. The residents in one of the closest villages to Irfan's estate, St. Cuthbert's Mission, have for decades received electricity for only 4 hours a day, while Irfan is powering his estate for his black-belly sheep and Brazilian cows. In fact, I have been informed that the generator in St. Cuthbert's Mission is currently down. So many housing schemes across Guyana is to this day without electricity. This is inhumane. My fellow Guyanese, this substantial farming and ranching operation is like never before seen. Let us begin with 2 large state-of-the-art poultry tunnel houses with fully automatic silos to ensure the 80,000 chickens are fed continuously to reduce labor requirements. Each modern ventilated tunnel house is equipped with galvanized insulated roofing and large exhaust fans to reduce heat absorption and ensure that the birds are cool and comfortable. Based on agricultural engineer estimates and Minister Mustafa, these 2 poultry houses cost approximately $340 million. The government built a similar poultry house in Onverwak for $170 million.
And also the government is making a contribution to that. So the total cost for this entire tunnel house will cost approximately $170 million.
Now let's talk about the cost of the 80,000 chickens themselves and the profit the president is making off his chicken farm. The cost to buy 80,000 chicks with feed is around $80 million. Guess when he sells these 80,000 chickens, how much profit he will be making? $80 million every 6 weeks.
And at the same time, every 6 weeks, they will take out from here 40,000 meat balls.
I saw God all incident road and them. I from the 1970s. All incident road and big pothole. I don't live Guyana. I don't know nothing about them thing. People, I see it somebody video and I played. So I said, let me see what will happen there because they sound like Ghanaians. I think I see that man already before making videos and thing. I see the road and thing. And then the big I said, oh God. I said, let me hear. And that's him. I see in Guyana TV9. President Ali says he refuses to be bullied amidst claim of pressure from Mohammed family. President Ali says he has been subjected to repeated attempts at pressure and intimidation by the Mohammed family, alleging they sought to influence the government position on the ongoing extradition proceedings against him. Speaking on Sunday, President Ali claimed that the family have been communicating with him for weeks, threatening to release recordings related to his private farm unless he made amends. According to the president, the latest message came from Nazir Mohammed last week. He said he is prepared to make the communication public so Ghanaians can see exactly what was said. The president's statement came after opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed released a video making a series of allegations about Ali's farm. Responding to those claims, President Ali said the property was legally acquired before he assumed office, adding that banking records and official documents can verify the purchase. Okay, so we know that this farm really exists. Okay. You see all the other bacchanal? I don't know, I just read the rest. But one thing, we know that the farm exists. how, when, why, however, me know not know that. He further maintained that the farm has never received special treatment, government assistance, public funds, or any other state resources. President Ali also noted that the property has been declared to the Integrity Commission in keeping with the law. Defending his interest in agriculture, the president said his passion for farming long predates his presidency and is reflected in his efforts to modernize Guyana's agricultural sector and strengthen regional food security. President Ali maintained that he will not allow threats or intimidation to influence his action, declaring that he will not be pressured or blackmailed. So let me talk the thing unfiltered and bounce up central. We'll keep an eye on this back and forth and back and forth. But what we know, the Mr. who did stand up there talking in the black jersey, he said there's a farm. And he showed some farm. And in this report, it is being said that President Ali said, yes, it have a farm. So there's a farm, all right? We will see how that goes. Me ain't there. Papa, Lordy, look at Bacchanal. Now, summer Bacchanal, CARICOM was over this weekend. Trinidad reached late. I don't know what they had to show, if the outfits or whatever. I don't know who they're feeling sick and couldn't take a plane. Or I don't know. But Dr. Drew would have, some people said throw shade. I don't know, I wasn't there. But all see for yourself and listen and see what they think.
Modernize our governance. How do we improve implementation? How do we make this community even more relevant to the lives of our people in this great region? Those are questions worthy of our collective attention. But permit me, therefore, to offer one humble recommendation. Whenever this community faces matters of great significance, let us ensure that every head of government makes every effort to be present for our retreats and caucuses to resolve matters in-house. Those sessions remain among CARICOM's greatest strengths. Away from cameras and prepared statements, colleagues speak candidly. Trust is strengthened. Misunderstandings are resolved. Consensus is built. No newspaper headline has ever solved a disagreement among Caribbean leaders. They have done the opposite. No public commentary has ever replaced honest dialogue, but respectful conversation among colleagues committed to a common purpose has repeatedly strengthened this community. May we always preserve that tradition. And so, my colleagues, the reaffirmation of our unity was never the destination. It was the foundation. Our people rightly expect more than declarations. They expect progress. They expect opportunity. They expect that a regional corporation will improve their daily lives. And I believe these past 6 months, to some extent, would have demonstrated that. We served during a period of considerable global uncertainty, and those uncertainties continue. International trade continues to be reshaped by geopolitical competition.
So that was the outgoing chairman of CARICOM. I just want to make a comment. I think they mess with our Prime Minister. No, should have leave on she darkers. You know, she was one of the darkers looking like that luggage on the she when and I was she sleeping. Come now, man. It didn't look good. And the cameraman, he gets it just on point. It looked like she take a little snap. And then something under the eye, something, I almost see a zip and thing to lock, you know, like a suitcase. Anyway, but she looking good. The outfit now, you know, she was dressed. Although she was walk kind of slow, but I guess with the age and thing, and they say, you know, when you have diabetes, if you don't do the exercise to strengthen the hip muscles, they have exercise so that you go down and kind of squat and whatever, it'll be kind of That is why you see some elderly just walk kind of nervously, they're afraid of falling. But then again, remember, she did fall at some sports or something, but they say some kind of lift up something like a board or something, and she put it on the river. But somebody say that kind of way you fall, so because if you hit your foot, you don't just fall, boom, you just kind of give a little go, you know, you don't go there. But I don't know, me and no doctor, Papa. Anywho's, let me continue. So CARICOM agrees to refer the matter with this Secretary General, Dr. Carla Barnett, to the CCJ. CCJ is the Caribbean Court of Justice, because you know, our government, our Prime Minister hold on to that bone like a, hold on to that because they can't take the fact. They say something alleged to the fact that, you know, because Ms. Carla Barnett, Dr. Barnett, time as General Secretary was going to be up sometime this year, and it has been extended. There was a caucus where our Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs said he couldn't go because he just gets seasick and some kind of thing. So, and then our Prime Minister had come back, and I don't know, because then after he was on some boat, they went somewhere down to the Nelson Island. So I don't know if he did take gravel then and he didn't take gravel then. I don't know. I don't know if the Trinidad water is more calm than the waters in St. Lucia. I really don't get it. Anyhow, so they have a problem with that and they're keeping it and keep it. So right, wherever caucus they had in the Ting weekend, they said they're going to send it to the CCJ. Right, so let the CCJ deal with that. But I want to bring this to your memory. Wasn't it our dear Prime Minister, Ms. Kamala Prasad, so back in 2006, would have said in the Trinidad Express, Kamala, no Indians in Caribbean court. Not one judge of Indo descent has been appointed to the Caribbean Court of Justice, Superior MP Kamala Prasad argued yesterday as she outlined why the opposition UNC was not supporting the bill. Government is seeking to replace the Privy Council with the CCJ as the country's final court of appeal. Speaking at the lower house yesterday on a bill that makes, Professor David Hayton of the UK Justice Adriana Saunders of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Justice Jacob Witt of the Netherlands Antilles. The joint president of the CCJ and former Chief Justice of this country, Michael de la Bastille, Senior Counsel. But in his contribution, Housing Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said that Kenneth Lala, SC, has been the chairman of the Public Service Commission and the Police Service Commission for over 10 years, and he now stands as a member of, they cut off that part, whatever, that their 3-year term in office may give a government in power at least 2 chances to make appointments to the RJLSC, since the tenure of the government was usually 5 years. Rowley countered that it was the same arrangement that the UNC had agreed to when it was in office. But Sabi-Sessa said the UNC did not sign an agreement to have the CCJ replace the Privy Council. She said the agreement the UNC signed was to bring the CCJ into effect and something else. But let me just get this here. Look, me ain't able at all. Let me read the thing proper. I thought I could have seen that proper. So this was in the newsday. Kamala hurting over panel of CCJ judges. Let me find the part. Kamala Sabi-Sessa criticized the composition of the CCJ, saying it did not reflect the population of the Caribbean. You have appointed 6 judges. We are living in a country and they say we call in race. But this is blatant. But not a single one of Indo-Trinidadian or Indian origin, she said, to supportive table thumping. How can that be when half the population in this country is of Indian origin? How do you expect them to have confidence in the court of that nature? Is it the region we're talking about? Planning Minister Camille Robinson raised his counter. However, Kamala Persaud-Bissessor quickly came back on the draw. She told, we have Guyana and Suriname. You have given strength to the argument that the CCJ does not reflect the composition of the population of the region. She said she also criticized the process of appointment of the CCJ judges, saying the Caribbean heads of government had steadfastly taken control of the appointment, the discipline and the removal of the president of the CCJ. The method of appointment makes its appointees susceptible to political influence, she contended. Then she went on to say, she gave a prediction. She said that she predicted that the Caribbean Court of Justice would become the Caribbean Court of Injustice. So now they're going to, based on what the Honorable Prime Minister said in 2006, they're going to send it, according to her, to the Caribbean Court of Injustice to get justice for the Dr. Carla Burnett. So I don't know if the CCJ now have plenty Indian in it. I don't know. I just asking because I don't know. You're so confident that you should have sent it to Privy Council because you only love the Privy Council. Send it to the Privy Council because when a decision is made, I hope if it ain't going in your favor, Trinidad favor, all ain't going to say no because it had too much African on it and not enough Indian and all in fair and it is, I don't know. I just see. Let me continue. Oh, Lord have mercy. Listen to this.
Trinidad and Tobago, according to a report in Guardian News on Saturday, Justice Frank Seepersod stated that the Hadids and Sabga could be compensated through damages if they are eventually successful in their legal challenge against the government. Seepersod also stated it is essential to distinguish that even if their arrests and detentions were invalid, such does not impact the decision of the minister to issue the PDOs. Their defense attorneys are claiming that Sabga's communications were intercepted by Trinidad's lesser-known intelligence body, the Strategic Services Agency, after Cabinet sought to terminate leases to state land held by Blue Waters in May. Governments have many different methods to intercept communications, which I cannot legally detail, but if this is true, this is the same Strategic Services Agency who itself was accused of attempting to overthrow the government in 2024. At the time, the SSA was accused of being run by a religious cult, amongst a number of other high-profile scandals at the agency. This is why I have long advocated that one of the first steps in a coherent crime plan has to be significant reforms and strengthening the national security apparatus, so that when these sorts of cases arise, the public has confidence in the system. But in this case, like all, we have to just trust the process, trust the judiciary, and do our best to let this unfold without prejudice in a court of law. I just hope that it doesn't end like it so often does, with taxpayers holding the bag for what currently looks very unsettling.
So I'm seeing here, businessman Dominic Hadid has categorically denied he was involved in any plot to assassinate anyone and has filed a detailed affidavit in the High Court alleging that his arrest and continued detention under the Preventative Detention Order PDO were politically motivated. He claims the action against him was predetermined and based on an unsubstantiated narrative linking members of Trinidad and Tobago, Syrian, Lebanese community to the so-called 1%. A 30-page affidavit which was filed on July the 3rd in support of his constitutional challenge against the Commissioner of Police, the Minister of Homeland Security, and the Attorney General and Police Corporal Eldon Calise sets out Hadid's account of the events leading to his June the 24th arrest and subsequent detention without charge. Right? Hadid, founder and managing director of Blue Waters Products Limited, and who has other business interests, stated that neither he nor his wife, Genevieve Hadid, ever been charged with or convicted of any criminal offense. He said they have been detained since June 24th without being interviewed or given an opportunity to respond to the allegation before the PDO, right? And it goes on and on and on, right? And then, bam, We see this. So, don't me and no papa. What do you think? Excuse me. 2 days ago, Caribbean Airlines confirms blue water removed from flights. State-owned Caribbean airline CAL has confirmed that Blue Water's bottled water is no longer being served on its flights. Days after the airline quietly switched suppliers following the detention of the company's principal owner under detention orders period. In a media release today, CAL confirmed that it had changed its bottled water supplier for its in-flight service. The airline did not identify either the former or new supplier, but said it conducted the procurement process in accordance with the Office of Procurement regulations, ensuring a fair and transparent process. CAL said the change forms part of its ongoing transformation program, which is focused on improving operational efficiency and supporting the airline long-term sustainability. The confirmation follows as Guardian Media reported that the airline had stopped serving Blue Waters on its flights last Wednesday after more than 15 years and replaced it with Dasani, which is produced locally by Caribbean Bottlers Trinidad and Tobago Limited, a subsidiary of the Coca-Cola Company. Sources told Guardian Media the decision created operational challenges in the immediate aftermath of the switch because Blue Waters is supplied across the airline network. And it goes on and on and on. Crews had to remove the labels of the water before they serve, and some crews had to pour water into cups for customers, one source said. Guardian Media was also told that the decision to change suppliers came from Carl Board, who on Carl Board, Kina Kaulesa, isn't also that man who does talk all kind of African things, sell with Kojo on that board. And after 15 years, I don't know. I really understand this thing, no? Them thing above my pay grade. I just want to ask this question. I just want to ask this question, right? There are a lot of bottled waters in the system and people into the bottled water thing. That's all. Because sometimes we just go pipe water tasting, wherever. I just want to ask all you, or you can put it up on the screen. In all the bottled waters that have, all, which one will you prefer? Let me see for no name and bottled water. In all the bottled waters that have out there, put it up on the screen. Which one really likes? Because it have one, I really like Fuji. Because I feel bougie. I was saying so. I play the food. I like Fuji water too. But tell me which water only like, Papa. I hear people this. I don't. Anyway, tell me which water only like. As let me continues. So I see somebody write something. Put it up. Let me tell me what water only like. Let me know what they just drink. I want to map all the business. Transparency needed in CAL's replacement of Blue Waters on its flight. This was an editorial yesterday in the Guardian. Oh gosh, that's all in. Let me put my, I forget to put this thing to charge on it. If you see me docking down and docking up, is because I forget to put the laptop to charge while I'm doing this shop. What the hell? Is a good thing the thing come up, otherwise everything will just blank off, blink. And I say, wait now. Like they cut my internet. Right. We back in business. So let me read the thing again. Editorial. The reported decision by Caribbean Airlines to replace the Blue Waters product on its flight has raised important questions that require clear and timely answers. While commercial companies routinely change suppliers, the circumstances surrounding this decision makes transparency especially important. The issue has attracted public attention because it comes shortly after the detention of Blue Waters owner Dominic and Genevieve Hadid, who have been linked to allegations involving a plot against the Prime Minister, Kamala predecessor, and members of her cabinet. Whether there is any connection between those allegations and Carl's decision remains unknown. However, given the timing, many citizens will naturally ask whether the two events are related. That is why Carl, as the national airline, owes the public a clear explanation. If the contract between Carl and Blue Waters had simply come to an end, that fact should be stated. If the airline decided to seek a more competitive supplier, improve service quality, or secure better value for money, those reasons should also be disclosed. Transparency would help dispel speculation and reassure the public that the decision was made on legitimate commercial grounds. Equally important is the question of governance. Was the decision taken independently by Carl's board or directors after considering the interests of the airline and its customers? Or was there input or direction from political authorities? These are legitimate questions because state-owned enterprises must be seen to operate in accordance with established rules and sound corporate practice rather than political influence. There are other questions that deserve answers. Has concerns been raised about the quality or competitiveness of the Blue Water product? Were there discussions between Carl and Blue Waters before the arrangement ended? Was the company given notice of the opportunity to address any concerns? If there were issues relating to the contract, they should be openly explained rather than left to public conjecture. The wider concern goes beyond a single supplier agreement. Investors and business operators need confidence that Trinidad and Tobago remains a place where commercial decisions are guided by fairness, consistency, and transparency. Businesses must know that contracts and commercial relations will not be affected by perception, allegations, or political consideration without a due process and proper justification. The presumption of innocence is a fundamental principle in any democratic society. Allegations, however serious, do not amount to proof of wrongdoing. If Carl's decision was unrelated to the legal difficulties facing the company's owners, then a straightforward explanation can help calm public concerns. If there were other factors involved, those too should be disclosed within the limits of legal commercial confidentiality. As a national institution, Carl does not operate in a vacuum. Its decisions affect public confidence, the business community, and the country's reputation as a place to invest. That is why openness matters. The public deserves to know why Blue Waters was replaced and made the decision, and who made the decision, and what consideration guided that action. Ultimately, the issue is not simply about bottled water on an aircraft. It is about accountability and good governance and maintaining trust in public institutions. Carl, its board, and the government should provide a full explanation so that speculations can be replaced by facts and confidence in the integrity of public decision making. Then the integrity of public decision making can be preserved. Okay, that was an editorial there. So people, tell me what water you like now. Yeah, I drink Blue Mountains already, you know. But I really like my anyway, let me continue. We entitled to our choice, right? Because this is something that just happened out of the blue, so it ain't nothing that we created no kankata about. So let me continue. I'm seeing here that, give me a minute, all in all, Nestle's looking to get out of it, right? So OWTU, Ness's prefers to sell Valsin factory. This is in the Guardian today. It says, workers at Ness's Trinidad and Tobago has been advised to prepare for every possible outcome as uncertainty continues over the future of the company's dairy and juices business. The advice came from Oilfield Workers Trade Union OWTU First Vice President Tati Gajadar Ennis after she met with employees yesterday, following Ness's announcement last week of a strategic review of its local operation. Gajadar Ennis said, workers remain in the dark because the company has shared very little information beyond confirming it is reviewing the business. The Guardian newspaper's article actually would have revealed more information than what they give us, because they were looking to do the distribution and they were looking to hold on to the products present in Trinidad and Tobago, and they have got a buyer for the factories. And they have what? And they have not got a buyer for the factories as yet. She explained that the union used yesterday's meeting to walk workers through different possibilities while awaiting another meeting with Ness's on July the 16th. So we know very little. However, we are set to meet on the 16th. So basically what I gave the workers was information as to worst case scenarios, if it should go one way versus if somebody should buy it and keep them on, she added. Nessa announced last week that it has begun a strategic review of its TNT operations as part of a wider global restructuring. More than 200 workers are employed at the company's Valsin facility on the Churchill Roosevelt Highway. Employees were told on Thursday that the company was exploring several options for the dairy and juices business, including a possible sale. Right? And it goes on a little more, and it goes on a little more. OWTU only look to buy it. Like, only really good in the oil industry. Try something new. Go and try the cows on the orchards something and see if that will work. I could see only being farm. Nothing wrong with being farming or getting involved in farming, milking the cows and getting the proper milk and picking the fruits and because this waiting for this refinery to open like it ain't happening. So probably think about saving 200 workers and only putting a bit to buy Nestles. So let me give all a little history of Nestles. Woven into the history of Trinidad and Tobago, Nestles has stood with TNT since World War I, from the establishment of our operations or their operations in 1914 to the commissioning of the Valsin factory by the first Prime Minister, Dr. Eric Williams, in 1962. A proud part of Trinidad and Tobago for 105 years, Ness's City, located in Valsin, has become a known landmark situated at the intersection of Trinidad's two major highways. The compound includes a corporate office, distribution center, and factory that produces iconic local brands such as Orchard and Ness's Chocolate, as well as international brands such as Milo and Carnation. Condensed milk too. Hey, you bust that thing and pay by mouth and you suck that thing. When you're done, you have a sugar rush and you hype a whole day. You might get a little, I don't want to sleep at all. And then you end up with worms and then you get medicine, and that's a whole next traumatic affair. Anywho, OWT only should buy it. Try your hand at milking the cows. Let me continue, Papa. I've seen that judge rejects bid to hold Tupu election. So Tupu election coming up just now. I see this man going hard at it. The last bad John, Calypso, what's his name? What's his name again? Kurt Allen. And then the current one there, the King boy, the King one, whatever. The one who say Calypso because of the commentary and social commentary and political commentary and something like Calypso, because of that Indian don't come the 10th. And I wanted to know, when the 10th is full of people of Indian descent, I can't remember that, but I don't know. Who is me? Yeah, that one. So I don't know what happened with that. I'm seeing here also small pharmacies join forces to lower prices. It's a nice concept. I'm also saying no legal requirement. Let me see what this is about. No legal requirement. This was Daily Express. The government is under no legal obligation to hold post-cabinet media briefings, political scientist Dr. Vishnu Raghunath said, noting that while such sessions may enhance transparency, there is no constitutional or statutory requirement for ministries or ministers to face the media after cabinet meetings. You know what I mean, going on and on with this thing, because everything for them is, if it's illegal, then they feel they could do it. Listen, it's a nice thing. It may not be in the books of Trinidad and Tobago law that you have to. But after a media briefing, if a reporter asks you some question, why can't you have a conversation with them? Once they're respectful and answer question, it makes the citizens feel a little more assured and a little more safe and all. So this continuous talk, but it's no legal requirement, Dr. What's the name? Dr. Vishnu Raghunath, come now, stop it. Because if the PNM was doing that, you would have never be so lenient. And that would have chaotic with some all the discrepancy and hypocrisy. If it's PNM doing it, all they see is African doing it. I don't know African. But when it's people of Indian descent, it seems like it's okay. And then you're dropping, it's not illegal. What about other things? That takes morals. Respect, those things don't matter. Come on, man. I really don't know more of that. I'm also seeing Davie campus on track for end of year opening, so they're pressing hard with that. Down in Davie. And the Lele, me getting into that, we go hear how that goes. All the best. Anything in the interest of the Trinidad and Tobago, I all for that. Let me see how that will go. Here this next piece of bacchanal. I never hear this before. Probably past me and I don't know. I never hear in Trinidad and Tobago this scenario happen. Listen to this.
Good evening. I am Jensen Leven with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. In local developments, Trinidad and Tobago's supply of passport booklets is now critically low, with concerns emerging that the government has instructed officials to slow the rate of issuance as it tries to prevent the country from running out completely. CNC3 News understands that the Immigration Division raised concerns with the Ministry of Homeland Security on several occasions since the new administration took office, warning that passport stocks were declining and urgent intervention was needed. Those warnings are now becoming reality. A source with knowledge of the situation could not say exactly how many remain, but warned that without additional supplies arriving soon, there may be no passports left to issue. The problem, we are told, has now forced authorities into conservation mode. We were told that standard waiting period for passport has almost quadrupled. Even expedited applications, which previously took approximately 2 to 3 days, are now taking between 7 and 10 days. And we were warned that if more citizens begin requesting expedited passports out of concern over the shortage, the remaining supply could disappear even faster.
It's concerning for me because I need to travel next month as soon as possible. Because I know a lot of people need to travel for health-wise and even so for, not even health-wise and all, also for university purposes and all too.
Political analyst Dr. Shane Mohammed says the new CARICOM chair, Philip Pierre, will have his work cut out to bring the regional body back on the right track. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar is in St. Lucia for the 51st regular meeting of the Conference of the CARICOM Heads of Government, where Pierre will make his debut as the chairman, having been appointed on July 1st. The regional summit has brought together Caribbean leaders to discuss issues affecting the community, including regional security, trade, economic development, and climate resilience, and concerns raised by the Prime Minister over the reappointment of Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett.
We can't afford to continue the way we're doing, and the incoming chair of CARICOM has said we need to not be a region of conferences where we only speak in conference and in small rooms. We need to go there and we need to do big things. And I agree, because this must...
Listen, I'm not really too interested in hearing Shane Mohammed. He needs to show us whether or not his doctorate was properly acquired. And in the absence of that, I good. Whatever. I want to just depart with the passport and over here now. Jesse Batista, I don't know if it's a bottom, you know, let's call it butts. I don't know if it's a bottom or real person. Let me tell you something. If your piggy can't stand up, come in here and go make it get hard, right? So go and find somewhere else, which is stupid talk, right? Okay? Because if you don't understand, I don't know if you're so piggy here, you can't think straight or whatever. But that's an issue, sir. We're not tolerate any kind of foolishness. Either get with it or boy. Yeah. Nobody talking racism here. This is fact. Come up and say what she has said. And there are some Indian people in this country believe that they're more superior than people of Africa. Those things are factual. There are people who has Indian surname on Facebook and they say all kind of nasty things about people of Africa and those things are factual. Whether it's really Indian or not, I will not know. So don't operate as though something I say is so racist and all that. We need to start a conversation on race relations in this country because all they can continue to play like all these victims from all here. Racism is real in this country. And since this UNC came back, it has become even worse. That is a fact. You see it every day on social media. And if you're only afraid to talk about race, I'm not afraid to talk about race because I am proud to be of African descent and everybody else should be proud to be who they are, whether it's Indian, Chinese, whatever. I am all for that. But you cannot talk to me as though I ain't matter. And I don't say nothing about it. So you see the race talk, you want to comment? It ain't no race talk, it's a real talk here. So let me continue. I waste enough time on you. So let me continue. So, you know, there are some Lele with Stuart Young and his diplomatic passport and they take it back. And because he mentioned it, somebody ball, he crying like a baby and get people who call him baby, like the Prime Minister talk about he's a baby. Come the Honorable Prime Minister, when you walking slow and shuffling along, so you can't be calling people them kind of names, right? Don't do it. Don't do it. Because I have a lot of names people will call you and they won't do it out of respect because you are the Prime Minister of this country, despite whatever, right? So don't do it now. Because it encourage people to watch and make comments that is uncalled for. So let me not worry. Right, but so there's a conversation taking Max Stuart Young diplomatic passport when he acted as when he was the Prime Minister, even if it's for a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, he put it up in the airport, or they could go and take it on before he was. But it's registered in the history books, in the annals of the books of this country, that he was a Prime Minister. Okay, right, let me continue. England has changed about 7 or 8 Prime Ministers in 10 years' time, and all of them is still registered as was Prime Ministers. So, so there was a people meet up poll and people were asking whether or not Stuart Young should keep his diplomatic passport. So listen to them.
Well, first I don't know the reason why it was taken away because the government just take things just so. So in that case, I would probably say that he was probably doing something that other people doesn't know about, and that's why he got to take away.
Well, in the political game, it might be a reason. Nobody he's opponent to. So it could be just victimization. But he's not a minister no more, so he really bung for that. I mean, he's a former prime minister for a little while, but I don't know.
I find they should leave him with whatever. He done had it already, so what is the big issue that taking it back?
No, I find he should have been able to keep it. Right? Yeah.
You wouldn't like that to happen to you. If you come in your position now and they will take it from you, how you go feel?
You should keep it.
Right, just some general information here. Since 1981, there has been a convention. It has been a convention right? For all prime ministers and their wives, they were given diplomatic passport. All prime ministers since 1981. And Stuart Young passport said on it, former prime minister. So again, since 1981, it has been a convention for all prime ministers and their wives were given diplomatic passports. And the Stuart Young passport had written in the diplomatic, I understand, former prime minister. So I don't know, is it big? have a blue and blue and blue and all them kind of thing. So it means to say, based on that Tana Prasad and her husband had diplomatic passports. It is safe to say that Mr. Pandey, God rest his soul, and his wife had diplomatic passport, George Chambers and his wife, Mr. Mannon and his wife, Dr. Rowley and his wife. Based on this, it's nothing new. Look, even Mr. Jack Warner, after with all the bacchanal and lily, Mr. Manning didn't take back his diplomatic passport. So I'm seeing here that Trinidad and Tobago is loading up to send humanitarian aid to Venezuela a week later or whatever. That's good, at the end of the day, that is really good that we're doing that. So I'm seeing here something from Venezuela. Venezuela interim President Delcy Rodriguez. We have received 2 humanitarian aid planes from Cristiano Ronaldo of Portugal. They were loaded with medicine, medical supplies, food, and clothing. 2 aircrafts filled with humanitarian assistance. That is what the thing say. All right. I don't have enough words to express our gratitude to Ronaldo on behalf of our nation. All we can do is pray that God prepares a special place for him in heaven and continue to make his name even greater around the world. So it is alleged that Cristiano Ronaldo would have sent that type of aid to Venezuela, and the president, interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, is showing her appreciation. Let me continue. So, you all remember, Seo Cheong talk about this country could end up by the IMF because of the mismanagement of the economy by this government, and we are oil and gas based economy. All the money that comes from the energy sector pays for school feeding, social grants, old age pension, and all the social services that we enjoy that comes from the energy sector, right? And since this government has came into office, the energy sector has started to crumble. People leaving Methanex, Nutrien, and the whole dramas and the whole scenarios. Okay, so listen to this.
Trinidad is borrowing another US $750 million. And here's what they're not telling you. Yesterday, a legal notice dropped signed by the Minister of Finance, David Tanku. Government wants to raise over $750 million US. That's over $5 billion TT dollars. And they want to raise this on the international market, where JP Morgan and Citibank will arrange it. Purpose for borrowing all this money? General development. That's it. No interest rates, no terms, no dates. Here's why timing matters. Back in January, if you could remember, the government issued over $1 billion US in bonds. 10 years, 6.5 interest rate, and it was oversubscribed. Sounds great until you see what it was for. Refinancing old debt that only cost 4.5%. We swapped a 4.5% debt for a 6.5% debt. That's almost an extra $20 million US every single year in interest. To add this new borrowing, and Trinidad and Tobago would have borrowed $1.75 billion US from the international markets. And US dollar debt must be paid back in United States dollars. Those dollars come from energy exports. The same exports that are struggling right now due to gas supply. Borrowing to earn more foreign exchange? Well, that's smart. But borrowing at rising rates for general development? That's a bill that your children sign. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. A lot more information has to come out on this debt, like the interest rate and whatnot. So we'll be right here updating you. So leave your thoughts, like and follow as always.
So we're going to borrow more money again. And they're still owing public officers money. They're still owing teachers money. Listen now. Listen to this too.
Could one of the Caribbean's wealthiest countries be heading toward a debt crisis? prominent regional economist is warning that Trinidad and Tobago is on a dangerous fiscal path that could eventually lead to sovereign debt restructuring or even default.
Although they want to hear that, they say your man is happy and I'm all kind of thing. They want to hear them things. They want to live in Nana Land, things going nice, the place nice, everything nice. Anyway, let me continue. You remember I read out on Friday an alleged message from Wilfred. The Honorable Wilfred, is thy name Wilfred or Wilfred Morris? Wilfred, what was his name? Morris, the MP from Miaro. Why I can't remember now. I'm talking about $20,000 and, you know, like propaganda page and thing and what young and that kind of bacchanal. Remember that? He comes and says not he and I don't know. I am seeing this. I don't know how true this is now, Papa. I'm glad you think small or they can't see good. Is somebody, I see it on somebody's page, I don't know if it's a real person page or not, it says Prima Samurai, right? And this is why I put it up, because this Prima Samurai saying, I can confirm that Marissa is in fact employed by the Ministry of Health. So what they're saying here, that list there, it is alleged as people who working in Ting, wherever, ministry, wherever, and that they are being paid or something like that to run fake pages, propaganda and all that, right? That is what it's alleged. So this person, I don't know if it's real or not, called, what the hell? Listen to me now, is Rain. Ouch, yes. Prima Samuel. I can confirm that Marissa is in fact employed by the Ministry of Health, albeit in a different capacity, and on a salary that is nowhere near the figure being circulated. I also stand firm by my opinion that she is neither an administrator nor the manager of the Facebook pages that have been mentioned. For the sake of accuracy, the history of kick out the PNM page is quite straightforward. It was originally created by the late Alan Karim, and Marissa served only as one of its editors for a short time. He subsequently removed her from that role and appointed several individuals who have been seen within the ranks of politics. Those individuals have since been removed as well. The page is now controlled by persons who I am not even convinced operate under genuine Facebook profiles and bots are used to amplify their content. The daily press is neither Marissa nor is it Leisha method of writing. I know this because I have first-hand knowledge of the matter. If necessary, she said I will sign Marissa V. Ramlogan affidavits to this. So apparently, she come out in support of she friend. So then what we have to conclude is the list that they have, because she attached it to she story, so it's on Facebook. So it's not me putting it out there. So this list, as I said, have people named there. So I see now Marissa Ramlogan and Alicia De Hore or something. So she like, it's them two people she talk about. And then I see other familiar names and all them kind of thing, right? So based on what we always been hearing and based on what it is alleged that Nicholas Wilfred Morris or Wilfred Nicholas Morris, one only two, the Honorable Member of Parliament from Yarrow, talk about propaganda page and making so apparently it's a truth in it. So they kick out PNM and the daily press and the this and that. Hey, look now, they're starting to tell on themselves, yes, not me. Mouth open, Tory jump out, mouth open, Tory jump out, mouth open, Tory jump out. Let me continues. So I am seeing somebody wrote this piece. Let me see if I can read it, because it's something I should read. Not long I read something from Mr. Michael Dehani, but I ain't see anything as yet. Probably can't go and check my messenger properly, but I'm seeing something here by one with his name, Vishad Ningyal. I do read his stuff too. And it says here, the slippery slope from populism to authoritarianism. Listen, all in, not today. In April 2025, the UNC government swept into office amid a wave of popular support seemingly from amongst an entire cross-section of the country. They rode the waves of promises of salary increases, 50,000 jobs, opportunities for young people, and brighter days for all. This was preceded by a sustained attack on the then PNM government, allegations of elitism and favoritism or favoring the so-called 1% over the majority of the people whom the UNC claims to represent and support. Even then, it was clear to me that the UNC strategy was reflective of the ideology of populism. Populism is one of the most seductive forces in politics. It claims to represent the voice of the people against a corrupt elite promising simple solutions to complex problems and portray anyone who disagrees or standing against ordinary citizens. It thrives on grand promises that often have little chance of being fulfilled, or if implemented, risk causing significant political, economic, and social damage. History shows that populism can be more than an electoral strategy. Left unchecked, it can become the first step on a dangerous road where democratic institutions, civil liberties, and constitutional safeguards are gradually weakened in the name of protecting the people. One only has to look at Nazi Germany, Idi Amin of Uganda, and even more recently, Hugo Chavez and Rodrigo Duterte of the Philippines, now facing trial for crimes against humanity. All examples of populist leaders who led authoritarian regimes, which became brutal dictatorships in most cases. How does this relate to Trinidad and Tobago, with a government that came into office under similar populist ideologies? Within just over a year, the country has witnessed what appears to be a troubling shift from populist politics to increasingly authoritarian governance. Political opponents are routinely portrayed not simply as critics, but as enemies. And many citizens fear this country is quickly descending into a police state. Entire communities have been stigmatized and demonized through 1% label, a textbook strategy of populist regimes, which eventually dehumanize entire groups to justify their eventual oppression. More frightening, the rhetoric of the Prime Minister and leadership of the government has become threatening violence and appears designed to create fear amongst critics and opponents alike. I recall comments from the Prime Minister such as, "Kill them violently, you come for my eye, I will take your head off," and her threat to cough down political opponents. At the same time, emergency powers have become increasingly normalized. Extension have been sought with progressively less public justification and without the presentation of compelling evidence necessary to convince citizens that such extraordinary powers remain essential. Measures are intended to be temporary, nor risk becoming the new normal. Equally troubling is the treatment of dissent. The arrest of individuals such as Alyssa Phillip and Christopher Samaru, together with concerns raised by others over the treatment of protesters and critics, have created a perception that voices of dissent are increasingly being met with the coercive power of the state rather than democratic engagement. Perhaps more concerning is the growing blurring of the lines between politics and policing. When ministers exercise powers to authorize the continued detention of individuals who have not been charged, citizens are entitled to ask whether sufficient checks and balances remain. Such extraordinary powers should always be exercised with the utmost restraint, transparency, and independent oversight. History offers sobering lessons. The erosion of freedom rarely begins with the abolition of democracy overnight. It occurs gradually. In Nazi Germany, the worst example, fear was used to justify exceptional powers and the targeting of perceived enemies. It eventually led to the persecution and eventual genocide of the Jewish population, where over 6 million were killed. The greatest danger is not a single legal order or a simple address. It is the gradual acceptance that rights and freedoms may be eroded at will and the normalization of extraordinary powers of the state. I think Trinidad and Tobago is entering dangerous waters, and how deep we wade in these murky depths depends on what citizens are prepared to accept and how many will step up in defense of our democracy. Again, this is not written by me, it's Vishal Nindial, and it says Karapi Tribe. Now, so let me continue. Hey! Steel van clash with police at Ban Lounge leads to arrest and hospitalization. This was in The Guardian yesterday. Several members of the Silver Star Steel Band Orchestra were arrested early this morning following an alleged confrontation with police officers during the Tri-Band Lounge celebration. Guardian media understand the incident occurred around 2 a.m. in North Stand at the area of the Queen's Park Savannah, where the steel band had been hired to close the event. According to reports, plainclothes officers approached the band side and instructed them to stop playing. The situation allegedly escalated when one officer grabbed a drummer stick and knocked over instruments, triggering a shuffle between police and band members. The altercation reportedly unfolded near the VIP section, which had earlier hosted several government officials, including Minister of Public Utilities Barry Perrotat, Ministry of Housing Anna Roberts, and Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly Fali Chavez Augustine. It is understood the official already left and the venue at the time of the incident. Video circulating on social media appeared to show a chaotic scene with steel pan and stands scattered across the North Stand and several individuals on the ground during the confrontation. An unknown number of Silver Stars members were detained following the incident, while one person was taken to hospital for treatment. Up to press time, neither Trinidad and Tobago Police Service nor Tribe had issued a statement on the matter. Circumstances surrounding the confrontation remains under investigation. Since then, I understand that those who were detained at the police station has been released, and then you have different people saying different things, right? So Pan Trinbago President, Mrs. Beverly Ramsey Moore, remains steadfast in her support of Silver Stars Steel Orchestra, joining the band's leadership players and their families as the players were released and reunited with their loved ones 7:30 p.m. today. So that would have been probably, I think, Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. The president, right. Also on hand to welcome the players were members of Pan Trinbago's Central Executive, Vice President Mr. Terry Bernard, Education Officer Mrs. Candice Andrews Vermont, Public Relations Officer Mr. Kwesi Moore, Chairman of the Northern Region Mrs. Desiree Myers, parents and the leaders and management of Silver Stars and other supporters. The President continues to closely monitor the situation while reaffirming Pan Trinbago's commitment to standing with its members, its member bands, safeguarding the welfare of its players and advocating for the dignity and respect of the national instrument, musical instrument, and all those who perform it. Then I'm seeing somebody wrote something here. It's lengthy, so I will read that one. Let me read this one here. Somebody wrote this. And it says, at the Tribe Launch, Silver Stars was asked to play one song instead of two to end the show because of other items had gone over time. No problem. They were about 30 seconds into the tune. The people were leaving. News flew back to hear them. Right, people were leaving. The people who were leaving, they flew back to hear them. The band members suddenly saw some men rush on the stage. The instruments were thrown all over the place. Cough, slap, licks for the players. It took a while for them to know it was police. Since some had on no uniform, the players had no clue what was happening. Male and female members alike were beaten at any part of the body. One of my favorite players, a past student of St. Mary's College, our driller, since Marcus is so busy with Trinbago, received several head injuries. He was arrested and is at Port of Spain under police guard. He said, I'm going to pray outside his room today since I know he has no visitors. So this frontline player is a suspected criminal. He just received his first set of training in the Coast Guard. I have never been so furious. All the time when we were hoping for a sponsor, Lord, please help this wretched land. 2 teenage sisters have been injured when Torspan fell on them. The female player with a kidney problem was handcuffed and it was detained for resisting arrest. The police refused to allow her mother to get she anything to eat. I absolutely hate this country where one sector of the public is near destruction and where help and support are not forthcoming. The grave just has to be totally covered now. Half the population is already dead inside it. We just rejoice because our last grand just got her first choice in Joseph Cameron. What is it worth? Suppose she was playing in Silver Stars that night. Have a great listen. The person who write this, let me tell you something. I'm not able. I don't know if it's true, if it's just talking from emotion, whatever it is, but oh God, it was plenty. So I said, let me see what Silver Stars is about. So I said, Silver Stars. Little history about Silver Stars. Give me a minute. Excuse me. Founded in 1950 in Newtown, Port of Spain, the Silver Star Steel Band is one of Trinidad and Tobago's most enduring musical institutions. Originally formed by brothers Edgar Jr. and Edwin Poche, the band gained fame for pioneering classical bum tunes and became the first steel band to win the National Carnival Band of the Year title in 1963. The early years and bum tunes, the band roots dated back to steel band called Gold Coast, formed in 1950s by teenage Junior Poche and his friends. After facing resistance and threats of expulsion from their Catholic colleagues, the Poche brothers joined the Valentinos, which ultimately evolved into Silver Stars in 1962. Under Junior Poche leadership, Silver Stars earned a legendary reputation for the bum competition, performing classical arrangements long before it was standard for steel orchestras to do so. Some of their most celebrated arrangements from this era included classical and popular pieces like Military Polonaise, 1960, Salute de Amor, 1961, and Theme from Dr. Zhivago, 1967. During this golden era, the band was famously sponsored by Cannons Industries Limited as the Coca-Cola Silver Stars. So the band history, the Poche brothers. Let me see if I get a little picture to show you. So you know, Johnny come lately just by the way. That is the Poche brothers there, yeah? Steel band transcends all ethnic groups, yeah? We remember we had Bobby Muhammad, we had Chit Samani Family Band, and so many other arrangers that were not of African descent. So it's not just an African thing, it's mainly, yes, but it's not only. So the Poche brothers, Poche brothers there. So let's hope this thing is worked out in a way that there will be equity, fairness, right? For all, because it is sounding good. This is our national steel band. And where is the people who kept that thing, tribe? Where are they to talk on this? And they are the ones who would have hired Silver Stars. Where are they to say something on this? We only hear Ms. Beverly Ramsey more, as far as I know. Where are they? These are young people coming out to do something they love, celebrating our culture, and to have that experience is very, very unfortunate. If based on what everybody's saying, then a senior officer could have approached a senior person, either from tribe or the band, and have whatever conversation if they found something was not right and treated it. If that happened and all that still break out, I don't know, I wasn't there, but you're not hearing nothing from tribe. And all them that's playing tribe, all them bougies and ministers and this one that's playing tribe, and they was they enjoying everything before and whatever. Well, I think it, where's the minister culture in this? I don't know. But listen to what young people are saying.
Them young people lazy and just don't want to work. These are the top 8 problems that young people in Trinidad and Tobago face. We asked young people in Trinidad and Tobago one question: what's actually weighing on you? And the answers that we got should make every politician in this country uncomfortable. Listen to what young Trinbagonians said. Discrimination, judged before you even open your mouth. For your age, for your area, for your ethnicity. Gang activity, young people with no community, so they go looking for one. And they end up in the wrong place with no way to get out. Cost of living, working countless hours or even multiple jobs and still cannot afford to live. Mental health, the world feels heavy, and it seems like the harder you try, the worse it gets. Wanting to start a business, but the barriers to entry are so ridiculous, so you give up before you even start. An education system that failed a lot of us, and people that take advantage of that. Financial literacy, being deliberately gatekept from the youth, so they don't understand how things actually work. And underemployment, having high qualifications but not having a job or salary that matches your qualifications. Every single one of these young people in Trinidad and Tobago have been carrying on their backs for years, while the people who have the power to fix it turn their eyes. You know why the people in power are not fixing this for us? It's because we don't vote. That's the whole reason. We're the biggest generation in this country, and we're the ones that stay home. So they don't have to care. They could ignore all these issues and still win an election. The day we show up, all of these problems become their own to solve, because they cannot win without us. I'm asking you, which one of these issues hit you the hardest? Let us know in the comment section below. Also visit countedtt.com and pledge to vote in the 2027 local election. In the growing list of people that have already pledged. So if you want to be part of this movement in a bigger way, you can join the Counted TT committee and bring your ideas and skills to the team. Message me and we can discuss further. This is a real movement with real people and real issues.
And on top of that, now they're playing discipline, the music and all that, and that happens. So we need to check on how we're doing these things. I'm all about discipline, I'm all about following the rules, and I'm all about respect, yeah? Hope everything works out the right way. So, you remember that the Minister of, is it National Security, Homeland, of, where it is, which one of them? The Honorable Wayne Sturge, I think it's he. They're reviewing or something, so this was Miss Beverly on the outside Belmont Police Station, waiting to get word about those who they would have locked up, waiting to get them released. So I guess those are parents and stuff also outside the station there. Ah, Lord. Yes. The MyLad program, they want to, I don't know if it's cancer or whatever, because of financial money. It's all about money with them. I want a little listen to this.
Far beyond the lives of all of us, both individually and collectively. Mr. George, hats off to you, sir. A product of MyLat and the Panis, you were one of the strongest representations from your institutions to date. In my limited capacity, cannot adequately express the excellence which you have demonstrated here today. But before I go any further, I think I need to corral some positive energy which may call upon us to be somewhat unparliamentary.
So that was the Speaker of the House, and apparently they had the young chap who they spoke so highly about. So my lad working. Just after last year, my lad working. You're seeing it, they talk about it. You see the Minister of Public Utility next to the youth man, things working. Where's the problem now? Where's the problem now? I come into the people poll, Jenny poll question. I want you all to listen to this, right? Social value versus financial value. Financial value represents direct monetary profit revenues and cost saving generated by a business. In contrast, social values measures the holistic impact an organization has on community well-being, the environment, and the society at large, such as local jobs creation, reduced carbon emission, and mental health support, and it goes on, right? Social value, financial value. Here the people poll question. I hope director listening to put up and start the thing rolling. I want to give some instruction first. When I ask the question, yes, if you agree, is number one. Don't put no letters, just one. If your answer is no, put two. Don't put no letters, either one or two. So here the question. Director, I hope you're listening or no. I ain't going to the fridge. Right. Oh, I thought you're going in the fridge to get some ginger beer or Moby or something. You know you. Here the question. Where are the question? Oh, what the hell is this? Right. Here the question only. Listen again, eh? If you're saying yes is number one, don't write no letters. If it's no, is number two, don't write no letters. So here, do you agree that the MyLab program has social values? I just read and tell all the way social values. So do you agree that the MyLab program has social values? One for yes and two for no. Don't put no letters. I mean, don't put no alphabet letters. Put numbers, one or two, right? Again, do you agree that the MyLab program has social values? And this is what it says social values is, eh? Because I'm talking about financial. Social values. Social values measures the holistic impact an organization has on the community well-being, the environment, and society at large, such as local job creations, reduced carbon emission, mental health, and it goes on and on, by social. So please start to vote now. Please start to vote now. When I go into some lele, some more lele, no, some more lele, more lele, more lele. Vote now, please. One, you agree that the MyLab program has social value, and two, you don't agree it has no social value, right? Just one or two, right? All them who they say vote UNC. This is how this is this is how they say let's get on when you vote UNC. Me, when I done play this, we looking to wrap up the vote.
When you voted for the UNC and realized you mess up.
They say, well, only realize they vote for UNC. That was let me play it again one more time. Oh God, it's sweet to
When you voted for the UNC and realized you mess up.
Oh God, I'm not able. Excuse me, I'm not able. So, the people meet up all as in people. 100% say yes that the MILAT program has social value. 100%. Oh God, well, thank you. Thank me. Listen, we're going to put people all over the damn place. You know. We could just as good. You know. All right. 100% thank you all for taking part. Let me continue. Let me continue. It continues all some politics. You know, I must drop in the politics. So Ms. Ashton Ford would have written a very frank review of the PNM. You all look first, I ain't going into all that now at all. Very lengthy. And I'm seeing that the chairman of the People's National Movement, excuse me, is reaching out to have a conversation. That is good. That is good. That is good. So let's see how that goes. I want to touch on something else. The Dr. Nayan Gaspy Dolly, a woman who has achieved academically and has held several professional positions in government, out of government, continue to resort to pure basic. Some pity apparently was going around on Facebook. That is very disparaging. I wouldn't even do those things. I don't make fun of people, how they look, whether they hair texture, their features, I don't do stuff like that. That to me is very disrespectful. But again, to me, Dr. Nayan Gaspy missed the opportunity at teaching moment. Because in her responding to that, she going right back to the basic thing that Sparrow was right with bag of sugar and woman with space between the teeth. And I think that would be very crass. I think that Dr. Nayan Gaspy should have focused on disrespect to women, especially discrimination. They could even probably touch racism on it, prejudice, stereotyping, those type of things, because you're in leadership position. So you should be advocating against those discriminatory practices instead of always going basic to sex. Because when Sparrow speak about woman with space between the teeth and sugar between the leg, he meant I'm going to be just as crass as her. I don't have a PhD, so I can afford to be a guest. What they have between the leg, the vagina. It's sweet because they have a space between the teeth. And I think for somebody of her level, and she was a minister of education, and she is the lady vice chair of the People's National Movement. You could think that in your mind and talking behind your hand and all that thing. That not being deceitful, that has been having class. But to put it on Facebook and forever always talking about the space between the teeth, is it your word just tied with what you have between your legs? I think it should have been tied to your PhD and all the different areas that you would have achieved. But apparently it is not. So you continue to be classless. The PNM also had a, they call it what? Excuse me, interfaith Thanksgiving service. It sounds good. It's always good to go worship and fellowship and all that. But I would have heard somebody who was preaching, I don't know if it's a preacher, an acolyte, I don't know, a bishop or whoever was preaching. And his conversation to me wasn't about building unity. His conversation seemed to be more about chastising those who do not support the political leader of the People's National Movement. And I'm trying to understand, how does that build unity? So nobody can have a difference of opinion and talking about they say she weak, but she's strong. Okay. Nobody was talking about physical strength. We're talking about her political impact in the arena, and there's no impact really. But to continue to push this narrative that anybody who does not agree with the political leader of the People's National Movement, Ms. Penelope Beckers-Robinson, that we are divisive, we are hateful, and the gods will do something like we go get punished or something, I think it's very, very unfortunate. I think that's why my show today is close to church but far from God. There are some people, when they get up to speak, I don't know if there's false prophet, false preachers leading flocks astray. Because I don't know what God is speaking about, this retribution they're talking about, because somebody there to disagree. And somebody has an opinion. I don't understand it. So somebody would have written, and I just like what the writer said, invoking scripture, such as no one can serve two masters, to discourage legitimate disagreement, reduces faith to a tool for enforcing political loyalty rather than encouraging moral conviction. An interfaith gathering should lift people's spirit, strengthen hope, encourage reconciliation, and remind us of our shared responsibility to another. It should not become a platform for pronouncing judgment on those who think differently. Public humiliation or marginalization of former prime ministers appear acceptable, but those who question or criticize the treatment are branded as divisive, accused of breaking ranks, and portrayed as deserving God's judgment. I want to tell the gentleman who would have, I understand it's alleged he was personally handpicked to bring that sermon to that interfaith service. Something is wrong with you. You cannot scare people into supporting anybody, and you can't bring about the word of God as chastisement because people don't support the opposition leader or the political leader. And those who sat down there and was clapping, shame on all them for sitting there in that space. All this sound like a cult. It's more looking like it's a cult. PNM, this new PNM we have now with this new One Love team, them it's like it's a cult. And if you don't follow them, it almost sounds like Jim Jones-ish. Jim Jones-ish. Just ish. Jones-ish. I think it's very unfortunate because all they getting opportunities upon opportunities to really build and come together, and all they just divide. It's already dividing. I want to tell the opposition leader, political leader, she is dividing the PNM. I want to tell the rest of her executives, them dividing the People's National Movement, not the people outside. All they want the people outside and the members is for you all to sit and respect them. But again, probably you can't, because when you study how you became opposition leader, it had 13 members win the seat, or they sit down with 6 and yourself 7, and they make you opposition leader, and then tell the next 6, and then after the next 6 just went along with it, because you know what? Why make more bacchanal? Probably it's that why you don't want to sit with the people, because you know how you get the position, it wasn't the right way. You keep telling us about you alone went up as a political leader, nobody challenged you. You're correct. Nobody did. Whatever reason it is, Kyoto didn't go and challenge you, that is water under the bridge. You are the political leader. But you don't have to be telling me that every minute. We knows that. Probably because you don't feel challenged, because you know if you were challenged, you may not have been a political leader. I don't know. So Mr. Ford would have written also in his piece that he knows you, and that is very instructive. He knows you. I know other people who knows you for years, and you can't fool them. And probably because you know you can't fool them, you don't want to do things the right way. But you is the one causing the divide in the People's National Movement. And as Mr. DeHaan talking about Kwati rebellion and Kwati rebellion what? I want to ask you, sir, because I've asked other people that question, so it's not just you alone. What is your stance on domestic abuse? I've asked several people those questions. What is your stance on domestic abuse? I just asking. I even want to ask the political leader, what is her stance on domestic abuse? I want to even ask the executive, what is their stance on domestic abuse or sexual abuse, financial abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse? What is their stance on those topics? So again, ma'am, you can't stop people from saying you're weak. It's not because they're picking on you. It's because you are politically weak. Your actions show that, and you're not bringing together this DNA. Even as Cousin Jackson and all having conversation, everybody talking about you. Why you're not building? And is it again because your conscience burden? I don't understand. But again, to that gentleman who stood up there and talking the word of God, which God are you talking about? It could never be the true and living God you're talking about. To be bringing vengeance onto people for having a different opinion. Because in the Bible, Jesus Christ never. Come, what's going on there? What's going on there? Director, put me back up on the stage there. Wide it gone. But I'm sure you're right. I am sure. Me and no Bible thumping, Bible carrying, church going person. I am not. But from what I would have heard, Jesus Christ wasn't into victimizing people because they have a difference of opinion. What he tried to do is show them the true word and let them change. But he wasn't going on because you have a different opinion and all that. He was a man of love, teaching the word of God, the truth. That when you hear it, you feel it inside your belly and it make you feel to do the right thing and choose the right path. What all they're doing there is wrong. And shame on you, sir, for using the word of God and an interfaith Thanksgiving service to be coming down on people who disagree. I don't know what all they're giving thanks for. Me I know what all they're giving thanks for at all. While all they're doing all them things, it have women out here who lost their work. They used to work FIPEP. They can't send the children to school. They can't pay their bills. They don't have food to eat. Some of the children pass SC and they don't know how they're getting money to buy the school uniform, school shoes, school books. And I'm sure out of those people that PNM women in it, PNM men also who carry their families don't know where to get the next meal because they were fired 10,500 plus about 40,000 other workers. And the list goes on and on and on. Only having Thanksgiving service, only remember them. Only remember the children who going through abuse. Because the parents, some of the parents don't have the mental capacity with all under that stress that for children be harassing them and the children is the victims in this. Some women going through sexual abuse because they can't pay the rent and the man who had the house, I am sure, must be saying if you can't pay the rent, well then, and then according to Gaspy Dolly, if you have a space between your teeth, well, I don't know, you're going to lose out. What they're doing about them, all they're giving Thanksgiving to talk about people who disagree with and who support the political leader. Shame on all you. Shame on all you. Them is things what they're supposed to be dealing and treating with. Those study people who disagree. People that disagree with Mr. Manning, they disagree with George Chambers, they disagree with Keith Rowley, they disagree with Dr. Ike Williams, they disagree with Anna Robbins, they disagree with Carl Hudson Phillips, they disagree with Mr. Pandey, they disagree with Kamala Prasad, they disagree with. That is just how it is. But you ever hear them keeping church service to chastise people and call vengeance and thing on people because of the fact they don't agree with them? I never see that before. Or they go and give thanks, take up money, take up school clothes, take up food and things, so that you give out to them mothers and them fathers and them and the grandmothers and them who's suffering under this wicked, evil, racist government by the actions I'm saying so. Do that. Don't have no damn church service. But Thanksgiving and interfaith to come to tell people that what? Shame on all you.
Instead of acting in it, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister just tries to get through the day. Too weak to stand up for our national interest. He's too weak.
Penny's weak leadership, limited assertiveness, displays a too cautious leadership approach.
He's too weak.
Demonstrates a measured and restrained political style.
He's too weak.
Shows limited assertiveness in opposition politics.
He's too weak.
Often adopts a low confrontation strategy.
He's too weak.
Reactive versus proactive. Takes a reactive stance on key issues.
He's too weak.
Engages in issue-by-issue responses rather than agenda setting.
He's too weak.
Shows limited proactive policy leadership.
He's too weak.
Tends to follow rather than lead political narratives.
He's too weak. Yes.
One of our next Thanksgiving service, as if that will make she strong. Yeah? Then continues. So all those who are locked on, let me see if I could read some comments here quick. Let me see. Them snakes in the Balize, as shaking my head, Judas. Wayne agreed Stuart Young was right not to contest the leadership position. They took opposition position from him. Let me see. The Bible they use to stone people for difference of opinion. In the Bible they use to stone people for difference of. Oh God, Slimy, give me a friggin' break now, boy. Give me a break now. Right? If you don't understand the context and why you're talking about that different. Did Jesus stone anybody? Did Jesus stone anybody, Slimy? That's what I'm talking about. Did Jesus take up stone and stone anybody? Eh? He went into the church and synagogue where there was collecting tax, he turned over everything. He stoned anybody? That's what I'm talking about. You always want to play and know everything. You don't know everything. Or let us come to interrupt all this real demon and truth, yes? Strength can be defined in many contexts. Somebody said they fed up a PNM. That's what people feel, I don't know. But they haven't church service to chastise who? And using the word of God. Look, when all they saying that all they blasted tongue should have pissed strong in all their blasted mouth. When all they talking them foolishness before they talk about unity and peace and bringing together and love and togetherness, respect. All they ain't talking, all they talking a pack of stupidness. Look now. Anyway, people, I want to thank everybody for taking part in the poll, being a part of this show. And again, I have never had a show and done anything that is not in the interest of Trinidad and Tobago and the citizens. I talk my mind and talk it straight. Because at the end of the day, all of we living here, we have to make this we home. Whether it's Indian, African, Chinese, whatever, we have to stand together to build this country for we children and we children. When them children small and they go in school, they go in little anti-school and all that. Indian children, they'll be hugging up one another. You think them studying who is African, they'll be hugging up. They come home, all them get sick. If one had the cold because the nose, they run in, they wipe their hand, the next one hold it, they bite this, they put this one more, they suck out sweetie, they get out. That's how they play. They don't care. When they go home, they're crying for their friend, the one their school friend, and the however. And then when they hit secondary school, something happened. Parents start to influence the mind, but African and Indian this and African and Indian this and 1% this and all that. When they did, them little train and them, they hugging up. The most beautiful thing to see them know nothing about race. As we just change the people mind, just as in the PNM now, they want to turn we mind this new one team, one love team they say they have. That want to turn people mind from the PNM, but for what? Or they can win no election. I'm saying so. I mean, have to use no word of God or nothing. It's logical thinking. Or they can win no election. Not the way they're going. No young people not attracted to all here. Because all their ways, people getting turned off all their nasty, dirty, stinking ways. All they getting on almost just like the UNC. A blast has started. Listen to me. A blast has started hypocrite. And all I want to use the word of God on people, all the wicked setup. Not now. Go and say, I say so. That wickedness, high class wickedness. All the thing God alone is for all, yeah? The true living God is for everybody, you know. All they continue, all the foolishness and call it God name and them thing. In fact, me know what God all be talking about people. Have a blessed one. Plenty of them. The church, they're all in the church. They're all up in the church with the Bible in their hand. But they're far, far from the true living God because they're wicked. And it's wickedness now we're seeing in this PNM. They're victimizing them because you don't agree with them. And they have all the people coming out and try to tell you what kind of stupidness. I don't know if they're raising the woman is supposed to be a powerful angel on the heart of the PNM, but it's like a cult. But not everybody in the women's league agree with them stupidness going on in the women's league. Eh? The women's league has gotten weak. Me, you know, like it's all about bag of sugar. Like it's reached on the bag of sugar. Who has space between the teeth and who red and who this and who can dress. Like it's a bag of sugar. Me, you know, like it's constitution. That is not the women. That is not what the women's league about. The women's league is the engine room. Them as who just go out there and canvas and stick up people and who just go to house to encourage people to vote for the People's National Movement, telling them why. It's the Women's League. Talk to Miss Marilyn God, she will tell you. Talk to Miss Camille Robinson Regis. Talk to Auntie Joan. When is Women's League coming to dressing all about in white? And the leader talking about space and she teeth and bag of sugar? What kind of worthlessness is this, boy? And all I want to call the word of God? All I want to call the word of God? Look now. PNM get this thing right, you know. It ain't too late to get this right, you know. I know it's not everybody in the Women's League agree with what's going on in the Women's League. I know that. So me, I'm blaming everybody. But the leader, what's all the leader? All the leader not right. She is wrong. Wrong, like orange. She not right. Everything for she like a sex. Like she does make everything about sex. You have a PhD, Miss Lady. Stand up and have some class. And nobody in jealousy with no space in it. You're not the only person with space in it. Stop that. Like you are not self-worth, nothing at all. You're leading a powerful group. The Women's League. Stand up and be counted. Philadelphia because they want to be leader of the PNM, a great institution, 70 years old. Stand up and be counted. That's what I should be talking about. Not about bringing people to tell me because we don't agree with you, then some vengeance of God. What the hell I hear in here, boy? All they get act together, you know, this party bigger than all they, you know. All they have a blessed night. I go. See you all here on Friday, God's spare. If I'm not having a show Friday, all they know. If not Friday, go be Saturday, God's spare. Love everybody. Love. At the end of the day, all those who tune on, I go on. Oh, it's not right. It's not right at all. It's a right. And hiding behind God. Look, but only praying to demons, zombie, the true living God only going on, sir. Come now, man, be better than that, be bigger than that. It's about country. It's about the little children, it's the women them who are working, people who being victimized and feeling fearful in the job they could lose it in the morning. It's not about all you. It's not about all you. What are you doing? What are you doing? You want to be the first one. Well, let me tell you, when all is done, people want a woman in charge and nothing again. We don't have it one way the Prime Minister already, no, all is showing the same thing. No different. Get all the act together. And all they can't stop the tide, or they can't stop the sun from shining, or they can't stop the tide. Go and read about David. Go and read, all you want homework to do, go read about David. All I go. Have a blessed one. Love everybody.
Sitting in your church on Sunday, thinking who you're gonna screw Monday, who you're gonna thief, who you're gonna rob. Take it as me till you say you can't fool God too. Every day you ball out, Jaja. Call yourself a dreadlocks Rasta. Terrorize the people on your lane, cause I saw you get wicked when you lick the code. By his deeds shall a man be known. Man, I ask you for a piece of bread, you give him stone. By his deeds shall a man be known. Natty up your head and worship Babylon throne. By his deeds shall a man be known. Straighten up your liberty and don't bow down. By his deeds shall a man be known. Mr. Money Man with your big money plan. Tell me where you get your first money from. How you plant your field, how you make your deal. Then come tell your picnic them fit don't smoke weed. Left your air condition office and gone a bar. Impress a little easy girl with your pretty car. When you're done she said she have to get paid. What a fret you are go fret when you hear she have. By his deeds shall a man be known. Man, I ask you for a piece of bread, you give him stone. By his deeds shall a man be known. Natty up your head and worship Babylon throne. By his deeds shall a man be known. Straighten up your liberty and don't bow down. By his deeds shall a man be known. Superstar, what a way you reach far. Every lyrics where you have me say I'm your one. Oh, you want tell a man feel lick shot when you never get a lick yet you feel with heart. If you a warrior, tell me where you fight from. And if a justice make you put up on a lighter. But if a vanity jewelry and such, remember say me tell you say you soon get. By his deeds shall a man be known. Man, I ask you for a piece of bread, you give him stone. By his deeds shall a man be known. Natty up your head and worship Babylon throne. By his deeds shall a man be known. Straighten up your liberty and don't bow down. By his deeds shall a man be known. Your church on Sunday, thinking who you're gonna screw Monday, who you're gonna thief, who you're gonna rob. Take it as me till you say you can't fool God too. Every day you ball out, Jaja. Call yourself a dreadlocks Rasta. Terrorize the people on your lane, cause I saw you get wicked when you lick the code. By his deeds shall a man be known. Man, I ask you for a piece of bread, you give him stone. his deeds tell a man me know. Not tear up your head and worship Babylon Joe. By his deeds tell a man me know. Straighten up your liberty and don't bow down. By his deeds tell a man me know. 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 By his deeds tell a man me know.
Yeah.